Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
Now my era.
and welcome to the Mustardcast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. As usual, free Palestine. So, what media have you been interacting with lately?
See, been playing more Red Dead 1 with my girlfriend. That's been fun. But nothing too interesting to report. She's very much the side quest head, so we've been doing a lot of side quests before the main story, which I actually kind of enjoy. It kind of deepens my enjoyment of the game. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been playing a lot of Patapon recently for reasons that we will probably get into later.
Absolutely.
Alongside, I've been kind of dipping my toe back into the Rhythm Heaven scene, and I've also been playing a little Pokemon Emerald lately. I've kind of missed it,
The
and
goat.
it's been a long time. Huh?
I said the goat.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done like a run through of it, so I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Um, I finished House of Leaves. I really, really liked House of Leaves a lot.
What's that?
But it's one of those. It's a book by Daniel. Hold on. Mark Z. Danielewski, and it's like kind of a meta narrative, metafiction book where it's like a story within a story. And it's this dude compiling like the writings of a man who like wrote a book about a movie that does not exist. And it's like there's the narrative of, again, the book about the movie that doesn't exist, but then there's the narrative told through the footnotes of the guy that's compiling all these notes and like his descent into madness while putting this book into a readable form. It's fascinating. I really, really enjoyed it. It's made me want to pick up another similar book, S by J.J. Abrams, up back again, because I started reading it and then I kind of dropped off of reading it because I just didn't have the time to like sort through the meta narrative. But now that I'm finished House of Leaves, I'm like, I can do anything. But it's definitely a good book. I can't recommend it enough. And it's also, the formatting is so fascinating to me as a designer, like the way they play with typography and like typical, like it really, it hits the expectations of like normal book format, and then it takes them and it throws them out of the window after a while, and like it tries really hard to pretend like it's a normal book, and then once you get like really, really deep into it, it's like, oh, this was never a normal book from the start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sounds interesting.
It's very interesting. But other than those things, I think that's about it.
Cool. Um,
Yep,
the side quests in Red Dead Redemption are great. You got to do the side
they
quests,
are.
otherwise it's like,
Yeah,
what's the point? You know,
that's real cowboy shit, you know?
the Red Dead games almost feel like Western life simulation more than they do
Yeah,
like action games sometimes.
for sure, for sure. And I like that aspect of it. It's nice.
Yeah, so for me, of course I'm always playing Marvel Rivals, always, all the time. So good, such a good game. Um, been playing ranked. I am now gold 2.
Nice.
My goal is to get the platinum. If I can get the diamond, that would be God's work. But I'm trying to get the platinum at least.
Mm,
Assassin's Creed Shadows came out. I've been playing that, but I'll talk a lot more about that later. In
mm.
terms of live action TV and movies, I rewatched Nosferatu in Prime
Ooh.
alongside Blind Wave, and it was even better the second time. The cinematography of that movie is just outstanding. If you watch it for
Mm.
anything, watch it for that. But the story is also incredible, of course. Like I said, it's not really, it's gothic horror. It's like aesthetically horror, but it's not really scary.
Right. That makes
Um,
sense.
Reacher season 3 has wrapped up, and it was fun as usual. Like I said before, it's a great dad action show.
Mm,
And still watching Daredevil Born Again, which released 2 episodes recently because one was a bit of a filler episode where Daredevil thwarts a robbery in his civilian identity, Matt Murdock, because he's trying not to be Daredevil anymore. It was a very fun episode of watching him use his enhanced senses to try and stop this bank robbery without revealing himself as Daredevil.
mm.
In terms of animation, I still watching Superman the Anime Series and Avengers: There's Mightiest Heroes alongside Blind Wave. But I'm behind on Avengers because I was too busy playing Assassin's Creed. Um,
Mm.
and I'm still watching Sakamoto Days, of which I'm also an episode behind on.
Mm.
Got to catch up on those.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to animation section proper, I only have one thing. So I went to go see the Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, in theaters.
Released it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're gonna get into. Because the day after that the day that I went, and this is the reason I went in the first place, it was removed from theaters, or at least they said it was, and I'm pretty sure it's not in theaters anymore. And it was as fun as you expect a Looney Tunes movie to be. If you're into Looney Tunes, you'll like it. It's fun. I like Looney Tunes. But I mostly went to support the animators who poured their heart and soul into a project that WB refused to advertise. That's why you didn't know it was out, because they just straight up did not advertise this movie. And then, a little bit after the movie came out, WB proceeded to remove the entirety of Looney Tunes from Max.
Oh, all right.
Looney Tunes! You own a cartoon series that has rivaled Mickey Mouse for decades, and you decide to remove it from your platform where we're supposed to go to get all the content that you make? What is wrong with you, WB?
What sense does that make?
Looney Tunes has been it is the WB cartoon.
Exactly. It's like ingrained so deeply in the public consciousness. What are we cooking?
It is insane. Luckily, I believe that Tubi is picking up the license to stream it, meaning that you will be able to watch it for free, and the people who worked on it will get money. Get those royalties. So, also, more good news amongst the bad. The distributor of The Day the Earth Blew Up, Catch Up Entertainment, are negotiating a deal to buy Coyote vs. Acme from WB for an estimated $50 million, which means that they would have global distribution rights. Hopefully this deal goes through, and that this movie finally sees the light of day, because we talked about it before, the Coyote vs. Acme movie, which was going to be like a, what's those movies called? The basketball movies with Michael Jordan and LeBron. Space Jam, where it's like cartoons mixed with live action, and it was going to be about Wile E. Coyote suing Acme for all the defective products that they've given him to chase the Roadrunner over the decades, and that sounds really fun, and I want that movie. I like Looney Tunes. I grew up with Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is great. I grew up way more with Looney Tunes than I did Disney cartoons, honestly.
Disney, yeah, me too.
Because I mostly watched Cartoon Network, which is the WB channel. But yeah, it was a good movie. I don't know if it's on streaming yet. I assume it'll be on WB when it is or HBO Max. I would hope.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
So I guess watch it there when it comes out, or don't actually. Just don't watch it there. Or I don't know. It's a weird thing. Was like, at this point, I don't want to support you, but at the same time, if I don't, you're gonna stop making this. So what's the right choice of action? So I don't know. It's weird. Watch the movie any way you can.
Yeah.
You got any animation news?
Not any news. I'm just excited because doesn't the first episode of Devil May Cry premiere in 3 days?
Yep, April 3rd. Not the first episode. It's Netflix, so all of it.
Oh, the whole series?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. I'm really excited. I'm seeing all the clips and all the openings and all the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
I still need to watch the music video for the new Evanescence song.
Me too. I watched part of it, but I need to watch the whole thing because I'm locked in for Evanescence always.
Yeah, this. I'm so excited for the show. I hope it's good.
Same. Me too.
At the very least, it's going to be fun, but I hope it's actually also has a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to comics. Starting with Ultimate Wolverine #2. Colossus, Omega Red, and Magic put the Ultimate Wolverine to the test by seeing how well he handles the opposition, a group fighting for mutant liberation. Only 2 issues into this. I have issue 3 right here. I haven't read it yet. I was going to, but for some reason I just been lazing about. Not much to say because it's still early on in the story. In this story, Wolverine is the Winter Soldier, and he's being brainwashed and mind controlled to kill off other mutants. In the first issue, he killed his homies, Rogue and Nightcrawler. It was sad.
Sounds sad.
In Ultimate Spider-Man #14, after the horrors Peter and Harry endured during Kraven's hunt. In the last issue, Spider-Man and Green Goblin turned the hunter into the hunted, but are they still prey in someone else's game? Yeah, so there was a Christmas issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, and Peter didn't make it to the Christmas party, and then it was revealed at the end that Peter and Harry Osborn were kidnapped by Kraven the Hunter, and they've been being hunted, and now they're trying to turn the tables on Kraven and escape.
Right.
In the Ultimates number 10, Captain America and the Human Torch lead a team to recruit their old comrade, Namor. But they'll have to get through the Red Skull gang first. This issue was very fun and interesting. So spoiler for the issue, because I'm just going to straight spoiler it. It was great. The Ultimates is my favorite of the Ultimate Universe comics so far. The Ultimates is this universe's equivalent of the Avengers. And so Iron Man almost died, and he's getting like spine surgery. But while he's getting the spine surgery, he's like also communicating with the team as they go out on a mission. It's wild.
Sounds insane.
And he's like getting spine surgery with like no anesthesia. It's wild. But yeah, recently was when I was rewatching Daredevil. I might have said it in one of the episodes. At the end of the show, Bullseye gets like his back broken. And at the very literally the end credits of the show, he's getting his spine like fixed, and they just show how the spine surgery is done. I was like, oh, I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that that's what that looks like, because I've had spine surgery. I was like, yeah, I didn't need to know that. I could have lived my whole life not knowing what it looked like.
That's real.
But yeah, so on this mission, they're going to go save Namor, because the Human Torch, who in this story, the Human Torch is the original Human Torch, which was an android. And the Human Torch was created in like the 40s, around the same time as Captain America. So not the Fantastic Four version of Human Torch, but the very original one, who was a robot. Okay. Who has
fascinating to me.
Yeah, who has the exact same powers, except he's, like I said, a robot. He's an android. He discovers, as he's like perusing the internet and catching up on modern day life, that Namor was killed in a coup, of which of course Namor was also another character that was created in the 40s alongside Human Torch and Captain America, which a lot of people don't know that he was created decades, not decades, maybe like a decade before Aquaman. Like Namor was killed in a coup, but because he's Namor, and he's like a mutant and super strong and all that, his body just doesn't decay. They say that maybe it's because he's the king of the ocean, and the ocean and all the like microbes don't want to harm his body.
Right.
But even outside of the ocean, he doesn't like rot. And the what do you call them? They call it the Red Skull Gang, but they're essentially, sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. All right. So they call them the Red Skull Gang, but they're essentially Hydra, and they're neo-Nazis. And they're taking inspiration from this universe's version of the Punisher, which they haven't gone into super detail on what he was about, whether or not this version of the Punisher was an actual racist person, or if he is like the normal Punisher where he's killing bad people, but the police still take inspiration from him despite the fact that he hates that they do that. It feels like that might be the route that they're going, but it's not clear yet. So these neo-Nazis, Captain America and Human Torch, who fought Nazis with Namor in the 40s, are going to go reclaim his body, because they took his body and hang it up as a trophy, because it's this guy who used to kill us, and now we got him hung up on the wall. And it was great because, Marvel isn't like DC. There's only two characters I can think of off the top of my head who have no kill rules in Marvel Universe, and that's Spider-Man and Daredevil. Captain America fought in World War II. He's killed people, and so is the Human Torch. And the Human Torch was just setting people on fire. He did not care. In fact, you remember I told you about G.I. Robot from Creature Commando? This is the robot that goes around. He was kind of like that, low key, where he was just like, there's nothing I love more than killing Nazis.
That's not based, though.
It's very based. Moving on to the question along the Watchtower, issues number 3 and 4. As the mystery hovering over their Justice League Watchtower deepens, the question, reeling from 2 brutal battles, must overcome her own self-doubt to get to the core of a mystery that threatens not only her, but the entire Justice League. But can Renee, so far from home and the support system she built in Gotham, rely on the team she's built around her to stave off disaster? And what does this mystery have to do with the Atom Project? And in issue number 4, cornered and betrayed, the questioning Batwoman must rally a ragtag group of allies to retake the Watchtower from a surprising villain. As the true mastermind behind the conspiracy to take over the Justice League's headquarters stands revealed. It's constantly fun. I love the question. I love her name, I'll tell you. oh, deserves so much more of her. She's just great. I hope that whenever they adapt the question, that they start with Renee Montoya and then like go back to the original Vic Sage, and that we don't have to wait forever for them to get to Renee Montoya taking up the mantle of the question. But it seems like they'll probably do something like that because they James Gunn has described that they're taking like a Star Wars approach where they'll be going through like different eras of the universe, so they won't be stuck to specific time periods. So they'll tell stories in the past when like Nightwing was Robin, and they'll also tell stories that take place in the present with Nightwing being Nightwing. So this is where things took a while, and I almost gave up and said, you know what, maybe we just don't record today because I don't know if I'm gonna finish my notes. But then I was like, I got to get this done, and I locked in, and then I got it done, and I was like, oh, this is glorious, and I took like
nice.
excellent notes. I was like, these notes are wonderful. So I was going to read issue 18 of Wonder Woman and discuss how I know I said before I finally understand the hate for Tom King's Wonder Woman, but now I not only understand, but I've now been turned and I agree. But it ended up turning into a whole essay. Like I was locked in. It's beautiful. I was writing because last night when I read this essay by this guy who's a writer. I don't know exactly what type of writer. I have to do a little bit of research into him himself. But he wrote this incredible essay about his experience with Wonder Woman and Tom King's Wonder Woman, and went to meticulous detail about like the problems with it and the sexism and the patriotism and everything that I've mentioned before, but never have been able to explain fully because I didn't fully understand it myself. After doing the thing that I always say I like to do, which is listen and learn rather than jump to conclusions, I always like to leave the door open to be. I struggle to say proven wrong because it wasn't necessarily a case of me having a hard stance and needing to be proven wrong as much as it is me not fully understanding why people didn't like the comic and trying to understand. And now I get it. And now I kind of agree. And I want to talk about it. And I might just turn it into an actual video essay because I've been thinking about maybe making a video essay. And this could be the perfect opportunity to do that.
Should. I think you should. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. So last but certainly not least, we have Black Canary Best of the Best numbers 2, 3, and 4. Because this comic's great. Written by the same person, Tom King. Speaking of Tom King, here's a story of his that feels significantly less sexist to me so far, and that I'm also loving, and I hope isn't ruined for me by finding out it's worse than I thought it was initially, like I did with Wonder Woman. But I don't think that's the case. In issue number 2, after a disastrous first round, Black Canary takes to her corner and her coach. How could she ever prepare herself for a match against Lady Shiva? The answer is simple. Mother knows best. The original Black Canary is back and ready to train her daughter for the fight of both their lives. Yeah, so in Black Canary Best of the Best, Black Canary is in a televised fight with Lady Shiva, which is a strange thing that a superhero and a supervillain are just having a televised fight. And she is supposed to go down in round 6 so that Vandal Savage could give her the cure for an illness that her mother has. And yeah, this comic's been great so far. In issue 3, victory seems assured for the vicious Lady Shiva. Can anything turn the tide of this match? Plus, the Dark Knight detective drops in on Canary's training to sway her from the fight. Issue number 4. The Canary cries. Black Canary has survived the coal mine and is ready to fight back against her opponent. Will the defeat of her cornerman Ted Grant, aka Wildcat, be enough to bring the fight back? Yeah, like I said, this comic is awesome so far, and let me gather my thoughts. This comic is awesome so far, and like I said last time, we talked about Tom King's Wonder Woman run. He's better at writing minis than he is at ongoing comics. Minis are like 6-issue series that sometimes they're canon, sometimes they're like Elseworld stuff that have nothing to do with the main universe. And he's good at writing that stuff. Supergirl Wonder Woman Tomorrow, which was written by him and is being adapted for a movie that's currently filming in production, is one of my favorite comics. I love Supergirl Wonder Woman Tomorrow. So it's not that he just straight up doesn't know how to write women, because even this comic is kind of contradictory to a lot of the problems that people have with Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman comic, where it's like, oh, so he does know how to write women. He's just being weird with the Wonder Woman comic. But
Yeah.
even then, as I learned more about the kind of the nuances of what makes that comic sexist that I didn't notice before, I look at this
Hmm.
comic and I try to analyze it and go, are there any signs of that here? And there are a few that I'm like, maybe, but at the same time, am I just looking for them now because I know about them? So are they really there, or am I kind of like tricking my brain into thinking they're there? Um, I'm liking this comic. It's good. Uh,
Good.
I've said it 1,000 times. I don't like to put people on pedestals. If Tom King ends up just being a horrible person with horrible like political views, then so be it. I want to hope he isn't, but he worked for the CIA, so the chances are high that he is.
Very high.
Even though it seems like he has a lot of guilt surrounding his time at the CIA, he puts that into his writing a lot. So that
Hmm.
gives me some like hope that he like feels bad and he's has some good views. And like I said, I like his
Right.
comics, and he tends to write good comics about good people. So like we'll see,
Mm.
or we won't, and he'll just die, and we'll never know what type of person he was. But you
Mm.
know, I like his
Yeah.
I like his writing style at the very least.
Mm. Okay.
But
Okay.
like
Nice.
I do have some criticism of the Wonder Woman comic now that I've learned a lot more, and we'll get to that maybe next week, maybe a separate video. We'll see.
Yep.
So moving on to TV and film.
Yeah.
The Zelda movie's release date has been
Yep.
revealed
Which is insane to me.
as March 26th, 2027 via Nintendo's recently released Nintendo Now news app, which we'll talk more about later as it was revealed in a Nintendo Direct. For those who don't remember, the Zelda movie, hold on, let me fix my notes real quick. For those who don't remember, the Zelda movie will be live action and it's being directed by Wes Ball, whose most recent project was the latest Planet of the Apes movie. Decades ago, he claimed that a live-action Zelda movie would be the next James Cameron Avatar, a film that seamlessly mixed CGI and live action. So it's assumed that just like Avatar, West Ball's Zelda will feel more like an animated movie than a live-action one, which has me hopeful. But,
Same.
um, well, not but, just Ball also has experience in animation, and recently he claimed that Zelda would be like a live-action Miyazaki movie, which feels like
Ooh.
a threat after all the drama surrounding people recreating Studio Ghibli style using AI. But
Yeah.
I don't get the feeling that he's the type of person that is a fan of AI based on how much
Yeah. No.
he talks about loving animation. But we'll have to wait and see for certain whether or not that's the case.
Hmm.
How do you feel about this news and the project overall, and how it was delivered?
The delivery of it is insane, right? Because oh yes, it's very Nintendo. Like I'm not surprised in any capacity of the word, but I'm just like it's insane. But I also have hope, given all these comparisons to Avatar and whatnot. I'm like I have hope, but my expectations are still very very low. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be like the Mario movie in that way, where it's like it was not anything groundbreaking, but it was enjoyable. It was a fun time to watch, and that's what I think.
Yeah, that's
The
that definitely what you hope for at the bare minimum. But you also want to hope
Yeah, bare minimum.
that they heard the feedback from Mario and they recognize that a Zelda movie cannot be like a Mario movie. A Zelda movie
Right.
has to take itself a lot more seriously. It doesn't that
Hmm.
doesn't mean it has to be like a dark movie like Twilight Princess, but that it has
Right.
to be it can't be so referential to modern stuff. It can't have so much licensed music. It has to be a
Right.
Zelda movie that takes place in the Zelda universe and be about,
Zelda.
Link and Zelda. So like
Yeah.
and Ganon
I
most
think.
likely. So like they gotta like
Mhm.
make this a Zelda movie, not a movie full of pop culture references.
Right. I think my biggest point of concern is like a are they going like a is it going to take itself seriously, and b which Zelda is it going to be based on the most heavily? Probably the Wild, based on
Hmm.
Nintendo's track record, but
Ocarina of
I
Time
am
though
hope
is I
yeah, I'm
think
hoping that it's like you know maybe a blend of like Ocarina of Time, maybe just a smidgen of A Link to the Past, like
yeah. I
one
think
of the more serious Zeldas.
those are the three that make the most sense. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and Breath of the Wild. It'll probably be a mix of all three.
Right. I don't want I don't want a Wind Waker based Zelda movie. That's not true. Actually, that would be kind of fire.
That's
Like a
just not a
Pirates of the
good place to
Caribbean.
start. You got to
Yeah.
build to
Like I
that.
don't want no Wind Waker, no Minish Cap, no hell, not even the Oracle games, not those. Even though I love those to pieces and they're my favorite, not those, not Link's Awakening. Like we gotta lock in basically,
Yeah, I
and
can
I'm
see
afraid that
like
they're not gonna lock in.
I assume it's gonna be a situation where it's like we're probably gonna be following maybe the same link for multiple movies. So
Hmm.
maybe we'll eventually get to where they go and sail the sea for some reason. But I'd be interested to see if they actually do that. If they follow the
Right.
same link, or they make like a proper Zelda timeline in the movie universe, which is separate
I
from
was
the
gonna say
games,
because
where like the next movie is like 100 years later, and it's like the Avatar or something, and it's a new
right,
link.
because Zelda has an official in air quotes timeline, but it sucks so bad. I don't know if you've like heard about it or like all
Yeah,
the
we've talked about it.
yeah.
We had discussion.
Yeah, it's just I really hate the timeline split. I hate it so bad, and I hate that it fringes on Ocarina of Time because like the
I
I
mean,
don't know.
it's
I
made up.
like huh?
I
Yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
just didn't exist, and then they were like, "Oh, people want there to be a timeline, so we're just gonna, make money off of this and make it a real thing." But they also say that all timelines converge on Breath of the Wild, so from here on out, it should be a singular timeline.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done something more interesting with it. Like I like the idea of Link reincarnating. Like I like the fact that the three aspects of the Triforce reincarnate as the same individuals over and over again. I just wish that the connection would have been like made a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't say I'm excited for this movie, but I am intrigued by it. It's like I want to study it in the lab rather than I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go see this, you know?
Mm. Yeah. So, a live action Power Ranger series is in the works at Disney Plus. Percy Jackson and the Olympian showrunners Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz are in talks to write, showrun, and produce a live action Power Ranger series for Disney Plus and 20th Century TV. This is exciting and all, but what I really want is an animated
Mm-hmm.
take on the OG Mighty Morphin Power Rangers inspired by the Go
Mm-hmm.
Go Power Rangers comics more than
Mm-hmm.
I want another modern live action take on them. This is cool.
Right.
I hope it's good, but like, I just want animated Power Rangers, honestly.
Yeah. Be sick.
What's your experience with Power Rangers?
I was not a Power Rangers enjoyer growing up. Or not like a huge one, because I always like thought, you know how with Power Rangers, like the acting is very hokey, and it's like it does that on purpose. But I never really like enjoyed it. Although I will say that I like Dino Thunder a lot, mostly because of the way it came on
I love
the
Dino
TV.
Thunder, and the theme is so good.
It's
I
so
love the
good.
Dino Thunder theme so much.
His peak, I fear. But yeah, I watched a lot of Dino Thunder because I like the way it came on, and then I watched Samurai while it was airing
Mm,
because I grew up in about that era, and I was like, let me try and get live action shows, and I liked it for the drama of it
yeah,
all, but it was like insane. Like something about Power Rangers Samurai, like they put something in the water because comparing that to like the older Power Rangers, it's like, how did we get here?
yeah. I watched a lot of Power Rangers growing up. I watched a little bit of Mighty Morphin. I watched
Mm.
a lot of Dino Thunder, but the one I watched the most of was Jungle Fury. I watched
Ooh, that's
Jungle
also
Fury a lot when I was a kid.
yeah.
But I definitely watched multiple different like generations of Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I grew up with Power Rangers, love Power Rangers. Excited to see them come back and see what they do with this. Hopefully, it's good.
Yeah.
So moving on to Mortal Kombat 2, we got some
Mm.
first look images at the sequel to the live action movie from a few years ago. We see Keith Urban as Johnny Cage, who I'm sure is gonna kill the role because Keith Urban is just great in everything he's in.
Mm.
Um, hold on, let me
Okay.
let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, because
Oh no.
I kept saying that, and I was like, his name is not Keith Urban, it's Carl Urban. Keith Urban's the country singer, who's I said Keith Urban. I was like, I know for a fact that's a country singer. There's no way they share the same name. I meant Carl Urban. It'd be insane if Keith Urban was playing Johnny Cage.
The way
um,
the way you said, hold on, I thought you were like not recording for a second. You had me scared.
But yeah, Carl Urban. Who's
Carl Urban, okay.
What's his name? Billy Butcher in The Boys. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I sent you the pictures. If you looked at them, and we have we see Adeline Rudolph as Katana, in an incredible costume that's very game accurate to some of the more modern games. We see a returning Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion in a costume that I don't think fits the character because
I don't think so either.
he's wearing full on armor, but he's supposed to be a ninja. It's weird. And finally, we see Martin Ford as Shao Kahn in that beautiful skull mask. That costume looked great.
Yeah.
I really hope this movie is better than the first because I did not like the first movie. You weren't on the pod when we reviewed that movie, but damn did they do some weird stuff. They made some really weird decisions, like making the main protagonist a completely new and boring character named Cole Young for the sake of giving us like an audience point of view character, when they easily could have just used Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, or Liu Kang for that, like they always have. And they made the abilities the characters are known for tied to this weird magic arcana system where you unlock powers when you're chosen to enter the Mortal Kombat tournament. But it's like, the powers didn't need an overly complicated explanation. You let the audience know that the characters have powers by just displaying their powers.
Yeah,
because they also made Jax's robot arms a power.
What?
Stupid. Okay. He just has robot arms because he lost his arms. How he lost his arms changes over time. But like, yeah, he just has robot arms. And they also made the like tech that Sonya Blade uses as they made that powers too. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? This makes no sense.
Like zero.
It's
That's
just
insane.
It's just technology and powers. You don't have to make it weird.
Right.
But yeah, have you seen the first movie?
I think I watched it, like part of it, a really, really long time ago, and I don't remember anything from it.
Yeah, it's not particularly worth watching. But that original Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s, legendary to me though. It just can't top it. That movie was so good, so fun. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this one is just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better than that first one from a couple years ago.
Oh, for sure.
So Mickey 17. A few weeks ago, I went to see Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon-ho of Parasite fame, starring Robert Pattinson as the titular Mickey. It is adapted from the novel Mickey 17 by Edward Ashton. Mickey is an expendable. Yeah, I know. I said the same thing when the movie ended, and I saw it in the credits. Mickey is an expendable, a disposable crew member on a space mission selected for dangerous tasks because his body can be reprinted if he dies, with his memories largely intact. With one regeneration, though, things go very wrong. Small spoiler alert if you want to go in completely blind. But if you watch the trailers, this is revealed. The title refers to the fact that the 17th iteration of Mickey doesn't die like he's expected to, and returns to his house to find himself. Everyone assumed that he died when he took so long to return, so they printed out Mickey 18. It was a fantastic movie. That's unfortunately not doing great in the box office because WB sucks and aren't advertising this in either, just like The Day the World Blew Up. And it's hitting digital very soon, or might already be out digitally, only 3 weeks after its theatrical release. Studios just don't let movies breathe anymore. So audiences are being trained to just wait for a few weeks for it to hit digital, and they just don't go see it in theaters. Movies should, I feel like, have a minimum of a month after release in theaters to actually give people time to go see them. Because people want to go see movies. They just got to find the time. Right. And to give them the time, you got to keep it in theaters. Like, no shit, the movie is not going to make money in the box office if you do stuff like this. And not let it actually be in the box office. So, yeah, studio heads will make stupid decisions like this. Then fire half the staff when it fails like it's their fault. Ridiculous. So last in TV and film, we have Avengers Doomsday. 26 members of the cast of Avengers Doomsday was slowly revealed over the course of a 5-hour-long live stream.
Oh my god.
It's easy to view it as the stupid publicity stunt that it is, but at the end of the day, it did its job and got people talking about it. Here are some of the existing, or all of the existing MCU characters that they revealed. Chris Hemsworth, Thor. Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Vanessa Kirby, Invisible Woman. Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic. Joseph Quinn, Human Torch. Ebon Moss, Bachrach, The Thing. Letitia Wright is Shuri, / Black Panther. Winston Duke, M'Baku. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man. Tanaka Huerta, Meha as Namor. Simu Liu, Shang-Chi. Anthony Mackie, Captain America. Danny Ramirez, Falcon. Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier. Wyatt Russell, U.S. Agent. Florence Pugh. Yelena I can't speak. Yelena Belova. Louis Pullman, The Sentry. David Harbour, Red Guardian. And Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. Yeah, those are all the existing characters. And I left after realizing what they were doing and was going to drip feed the names over the course of the day. So I just was like, I'm not watching this. But I rejoined the stream randomly just to see, like, okay, whose name's up now? And I was welcomed by a name that made me so happy. James Marsden, aka Donut Lord from Sonic, aka Cyclops from the X-Men movies.
That's crazy.
And before him, we saw Kelsey Grammer, who played Beast, Patrick Stewart, of course, Professor X, Ian McKellen, Magneto. This would be his first time playing Magneto since Days of Future Past. Alan Cumming, who played Nightcrawler in X-Men 2. Rebecca Romijn, who played Mystique in those first 3 movies. And finally, and surprisingly, Channing Tatum returning as Gambit.
Oh, shit.
The last cheer, of course, was for Robert Downey Jr., who was playing Dr. Doom, and then he showed up in the live stream and said some words. It's weird he's playing Doom. But I hope that it's like there's a reason for it and that it's actually well done. Because I want this movie to be good. I'm not like wishing on the MCU's downfall. I want good comic book content. My hope is that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars result in a soft reboot, because that's what Secret Wars is in the comics, the 2 times that they did it. And it results in a new MCU where they can experiment more and just creatives take the lead and, make good movies. But I know you're a big X-Men fan,
I'm a huge X-Men fan, and Days of Future Past is actually my favorite. It's my favorite X-Men movie, but it's also just my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, wow.
I love X-Men Days of Future Past so much. It's like, it is not a masterclass in cinema, but I would go see that movie 6 more times in theaters if I could. I liked it so much. And to see a big chunk of the cast, I'm getting ahead of myself. The reason why I liked Days of Future Past so much is because of the cast. They made that movie so enjoyable to watch. The chemistry that they had is great. And to see most of the cast from Days of Future Past return as their original roles, excited to begin to I'm gonna go watch this movie. I had no plans to, but then you told me the X-Men are in it. So now I'm like, I have to go see it. It's not for anyone else.
I doubt this is the whole cast. There's definitely gonna be more. There's no way Halle Berry's not coming back as Storm. That'd be ridiculous if she did.
Oh yeah.
And what was it? I forget the name of the actress who plays Jean Grey, but she's definitely coming back.
Mm-hmm. But also the fact
it's
that they
not
brought back
Rachel McAdams, is it? No, Sophie Turner played her in the reboot. It's Famke Janssen.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they brought back Mystique's original actor, who honestly I think is better. I prefer her a lot more than I don't know. I just think she was really good at it in the first couple of X-Men movies, and I'm glad that she's back. And that's, I think, the part that I'm really excited for. I don't know.
Because I saw James Marsden. I was like, oh my god. And then behind his name, I saw Mystique, and I was like, oh wait, that's the original Mystique. And then I saw, I was like, okay, let me rewind and see who I missed. And I saw Alan Cumming, and I was like, Alan Cumming, I recognize that name. That's Nightcrawler? What? They're bringing back a Nightcrawler? He also played the scientist dude from the first Spy Kids movie that made the thumbs.
Crazy connection.
What do they call it? The floofs?
I think so.
But yeah, he's returning as Nightcrawler, which is fun. I'm excited to see what they do with this. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they do good things.
Yeah.
And I just want to see James Marsden actually get to play Cyclops and do things, because he was
That's real.
just and I hate to say it, but he was just getting cucked by Wolverine that whole movie
No, he was.
series,
He
the
was,
entire
and
movie series.
it's funny, but it's not like um, uh, and I think that it's not necessarily a problem, but like that's a like a what am I trying to say? It's like it reveals a kind of a bigger issue within the X-Men. It's like for Cyclops to be the leader in a lot of the like non-comic X-Men media that I've consumed, he's always getting cucked by Wolverine. It's insane. In
Yeah.
the cartoons, in the live action movies, it's
Luckily,
like
in '97, they give him a huge role. He's great in '97. '97
yeah.
made me love that Cyclops so much more than I already did. But yeah,
Man,
excited for
I
this.
need to go rewatch Days of Future Past. It's been entirely too long. I love that movie to pieces.
Yeah.
I didn't like Apocalypse as much though, which is unfortunate.
Probably was just not a good movie.
Yeah, it made me really
It had
sad.
a
I'm
good
like,
cast though.
yeah, definitely.
Like all of those, the whole cast was great. The
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse was miscast. Like I forget his name at the moment. I love him, but he shouldn't have been Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But everybody else was great. But
Yeah.
moving on to video games. So, an industry-wide video game union is being created.
Oh,
Coming from
nice.
Rebecca Valentine at IGN. Today, a group of cross-discipline video game workers have announced the first ever direct join industry-wide union in North America, known as United Video Game Workers, organizing with Communication Workers of America, UVW CWA. UVW CWA is a direct joint organization, meaning any video game industry worker in the US or Canada working as an artist, writer, designer, QA tester, or programmer can join, regardless of whether they are freelance or full time, or whether or not other workers at their company have joined. In a press release, UVW CWA shared that its mission is to not only build community and solidarity amongst video game workers, but also to build large-scale education campaigns about labor organizing in the video game industry. The group's first issue campaign will focus on the recent tide of industry mass layoffs, with workers planning to share around a petition at the Game Developers Conference, GDC, addressing the issue. This is awesome, and a huge first step in fixing the video industry as a whole, after especially, just the mess it's become over the last decade. I'm
Right.
excited to see the great things this union can hopefully achieve. What are
Me
your
too.
thoughts?
I like this is groundbreaking. And honestly, like I hope that I know that they're just starting out, but I have hope that they're going to perform things from the bottom up. And that gives me hope for both the industry and just like both as a consumer and as like a person who wanted to be a dev once upon a time. Like that gives me a lot of hope that the industry will pivot back to what it used to be, you know?
Yeah. So, more good news in the games industry. Game Informer is back. And the entirety of the staff that was laid off after the closure has returned. And no, that is not hyperbole. The entire staff.
Whoa.
Game Informer was acquired by Gunzilla Games, and the new owners insist
Mhm.
that Game Informer remain an independent editorial outlet. Game Informer now operates under an entity called Game Informer Inc. They're currently playing catch up on or sorry, they're currently playing catch up and releasing their Game of the Year and reviews for all the games that came out since the closure. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, like I said, another piece of great news for the video games industry.
Yeah.
When things are fully up and running again, I'm subbing to their mag like I was considering doing before the closure. So
Oh,
yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
excited for this.
Mm.
So moving on to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
It has released, and it is the return to form that I'd hoped it would be.
Nice.
I am not, well, I wrote that I am not obsessed with this game, but I meant to just wrote, right, I am obsessed with this game. I don't know where that not came from. And I can't put it down. The combat is fun and fluid, and the stealth is finally a viable option again, and it's actually well done and fun. There are
Nice.
still plenty of holdovers from the RPG focused games, like enemies being leveled. It's a level based system, and the map being
Mm.
way too big. But so far, I'm having a great time. I'm 20 hours in, and
Oh wow.
haven't even unlocked Yasuke yet, which
Oh.
I'm more excited to than I thought I'd be, because I thought I was gonna just want to be stealthy the whole time. But because the combat is so good and Naue is built for stealth, I'm excited to experience the combat with the character that's built to be the person who fights out in the open.
Mm.
So I sent you a trailer from Ubisoft Brazil, who made a tokusatsu-inspired trailer. And
You
for
did.
those who don't know, tokusatsu is the genre that shows like Power Rangers and Kamen Rider are part of. So the trailer had two actors transform into a ninja and a samurai and fight enemies with big fake explosions in the background, and it was great. It was so good. Brazil
Early commercial.
has a huge black population and the second biggest Japanese population outside of Japan. So
Really?
I'm not completely surprised that they showed out like this, because they
Mm.
specifically have the audience of people who would be into this game the most.
Right.
But that trailer made me kind of want the tokusatsu equivalent of Black Dynamite, where Black Dynamite
Ooh.
is a parody of black exploitation. It's a comedy, and it's
Mm.
super fun. If you haven't seen Black Dynamite is one of the best movies ever made. I love Black Dynamite.
That
It's
movie is a great
so
movie.
funny. Um, I want the tokusatsu equivalent of that. That would be really fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, but speaking of black people, Ubisoft
Mm.
has reportedly enlisted a team of lawyers to sue players who harass the Assassin's Creed Shadows developers.
Nice.
Employees are advised not to post on social media, and a team will be monitoring for targeted attacks with lawyers ready to file complaints in the event of proven harassment. It sucks that this is necessary, but good on Ubisoft
Mhm.
for protecting their team.
Right.
So, moving on to the first of the Nintendo Directs we'll be covering in this episode. So we're recording this the Sunday before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, of which that night we'll record for like 30, maybe 40 minutes, depends on how long we end up talking and how busy we are that night, about what we see. It won't be super in-depth or in detail, but we'll get our initial thoughts out. And then just so that week we have some coverage on it. And then 2 weeks after that, or yeah, just about, we'll have an episode where we go into, deeper detail. And we'll probably get a lot more news about those games over the course of that week anyway, because people will have gotten hands on the console itself over the course of those weeks. And we'll get tons of news. So the episode
It's like
after
a
that
teaser trailer of sorts.
will be so much Nintendo Switch 2 content. But today we had the final Switch 1 focused Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go through everything that was announced. I'll be going through an IGN article by what's his name? Eric Van Allen, where, lists everything and gives little blurbs about them. So, the first thing we saw was Dragon Quest 1+2 HD 2D Remake. Van Allen writes, following after Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, the prior two games are coming to Nintendo Switch as Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake sometime this year. It's got the same visual style as Dragon Quest 3, which should make for a nice classic collection for all the Dragon Quest fans when it arrives sometime in the future. This looks really cool. It kind of makes me want to play it.
Same.
Like maybe.
I really like.
Go ahead.
I really like the HD 2D style that Square Enix, as they said it in the Direct, has been going for, because that's the first game to do that was the Live Alive remake, and I really, really liked the Live Alive remake, and so seeing them kind of lean into it more is really exciting. I've never played Dragon Quest. This did make me want to play Dragon Quest a lot. Simply for that style.
Yeah, maybe I'll check out the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, because I hear that's the best one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So next we got No Sleep for Konami Date from the Somnium Files. A new entry in the the Somnium Files series, not AI, even though that's how it looks like it's spelled. No Sleep for Konami Date sees the protagonist of the first searching for a missing iris, solve puzzles, and investigate mysteries to find her on July 25th, 2025. What do you know about this series? Because I know nothing other than what we saw.
A little bit about it. I have friends that have said that I would really be into it, and I just haven't gotten around to playing the other ones. But this one really cemented in for me. Like, this is a game that I would be into. And so now I have to go play the other ones so to prepare for this one, because
Cool.
I was really fascinated by it watching the direct. I'm like, this looks like a game that I would really really like, and I wanna have the context of the other games before I play this one. Good.
So next we have Raidu Remastered: The Mystery of the Soulless Army. The latest
Yeah.
Atlas remaster is bringing Raido to the forefront. With a mixture of devil summoning and action RPG combat, with new graphics and gameplay updates, you'll investigate, gain new allies, and solve puzzles around the town. Raido returns in Raido Remastered: The Mystery of the Soulless Army on June 19th, 2025. Yeah, so an Atlas game looks like Persona, but real time in some ways. And also, the music is like, it's just straight up Persona music. It's just like that Shin Megami Tensei stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're eating good. I have not said this on the podcast before, I don't think, but I really like Shin Megami Tensei 3, and Raido is in it. So to see his game of origin is really, really fun. And I think I'll be picking this one up when I finish Shin Megami Tensei 3. So in the next 3 years, LOL. That game is hard. It's really hard. And it's not even like hard because like it's hard difficulty wise, but it's extra hard for me because it's really reliant on the buff debuff system, and I am one of those people that plays RPGs and does not use buffs or debuffs, and so it's been kicking my ass a little bit, but it's fun. I like Shin Megami Tensei 3. I really like the soundtrack and like the story and all that, and I honestly kind of enjoy it a little more over Persona because it's so much easier to like get into. It's like the Persona games are so dense, and it's like with Shin Megami Tensei, they're dense, but they're dense in a different way because they're dungeon crawlers rather than like RPGs. It's strange, but I'm excited for this game. Yeah.
Cool. Next, we had Shadow Labyrinth. Remember the creepy Pac-Man short from Secret Level? Well, Bandai Namco's dark take on a Pac-Man themed Metroidvania is arriving with Shadow Labyrinth on July 18th, 2025, with an ominous puck helper guiding you through a harsh and dangerous world. Yeah, that Secret Level episode turned into a game, or more accurately, the game was probably made because games take a long time to make, and then they decided to make a episode of Secret Level advertising it. Because that's just what that show was. It was just an advertisement for a bunch of games that I mostly didn't care about. I really didn't like that. That show was such a disappointment. Like I want them to get a season 2 so they can hopefully do more interesting stuff, but it's like, but yeah,
wasted potential.
This game looks interesting. I don't know if I'll play it, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
And next, we got Patapon 1+2 Replay.
Yes, we did.
The original Patapon 1 and 2 are both marching forward on the Nintendo Switch. New gameplay features look to support players, including always showing commands. The beat gets going on July 11th, 2025. It's crazy that I've never played Patapon as a PlayStation guy. But it's also because I've never been into rhythm games, but this makes me want to get into rhythm games. Because I was like, this looks fun.
As I have Patapon 1 and 2 on our PS4. Here's the thing, right? If nothing else gets you into playing it, it is free on PSN.
I know this. That's why I'm the first 2 games. I'm gonna try it out on PSN, and if I like it on PSN, I'll probably get it on my Switch too, because that's probably why I prefer to play it.
Like, these games are so fun. I haven't gotten into yet. I'm still playing through 1. They're surprisingly difficult for rhythm games, and like for such a cute rhythm game. And they're really fun. Like the tunes get stuck in your head. The songs are really good, and it's like these little warmongering spears are adorable, even though they are trying to colonize their little continent. It's terrible when you think about it for more than 3 seconds, but it's also so fun. And I am glad that they're releasing it on Switch because yes, I'm buying it twice. It's that good of a game. And like to have it on the go will be really, really nice. Because that's the one thing. Like I'll be at work or I'll be out and about, and I'll be like, "Damn, I wish I was playing Patapon right now. I'm gonna go hard." And now,
when I get my Switch, I'm bringing it to work that first day.
Yeah.
Only that first day though, because I can't bring it with me after that. Otherwise, I'll be distracted.
Yeah, but real. Yeah, and then I just hope that like they re-release 3 in the same way, because they've been kind of like shying away from it, and I get why, because it was very reliant on like online play between players, and like that would be complicated and stuff. But fingers crossed that they re-release 3. And also, I'm really excited for the spiritual successor by the original devs, Ratatan. I
Yeah,
haven't supported
I've
the
heard of
Kickstarter
that.
yet, but yeah, it's on my docket. It's on my docket. The demos came out and people are saying it's fire, so now I'm extra excited.
Yeah. So next we have Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. The infamous farming life sim series returns with Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Taking inspiration from the original handheld release, players will set out to revitalize Zephyrtown and restore it to the glory through the classic methods farming, ranching, and socializing. Set out for a quiet life on August 27th, 2025.
Mm.
I don't have any thoughts about this. Not my type of game, but
Yeah, I like farming sims. Harvest Moon has just always been really well. Story of Seasons has been always been like really difficult for me to get into because I don't know. There's just something about it that like doesn't appeal to me. And I'm a Stardew Valley truther. I have like 1,000 hours in that game, but I don't know. I'm excited for people who like Story of Seasons, but it ain't for me.
something that is very much for me. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We got some
Yeah.
more gameplay of Samus's new 3D adventure. Starting the gameplay showcase on the planet Vuros, Metroid Prime 4 sees Samus unlocking psychic abilities that she can use to open doors, operate mechanisms, and change the trajectory of her beams. Nintendo reaffirmed a 2025 launch window and teased a new suit for Samus, but no news yet on a release date for Metroid Prime 4, which will probably be released or announced next week at the Switch 2 Direct.
Yeah,
But yeah, this looks good.
it
I'm excited
does.
to play it. This will be my first Metroid Prime, and then I'll go back and play the remaster of the first game.
Mm.
Next, we saw Disney Villains Cursed Cafe. Well, actually, before we get to that, so there's conversations people were having about whether or not Metroid Prime 4 will have like a Switch 2 version that is like a significant upgrade.
Mm.
A lot of people feel like it won't because Nintendo's weird. Like if this was Xbox or PlayStation, there would be no question that this game would be getting an upgrade of visual fidelity and like frames per second on their new console. But because this is Nintendo, a lot of people are convinced that nope, it's just going to be the Switch 1 game playing on the Switch 2, and maybe there will be like some DLSS stuff that upscales it a little bit using that tech, but it won't have an official Switch 2 version. But I want to hope and think that it will have like a proper Switch 2 version. But we'll have to wait and see.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, Disney Villain Cursed Cafe. Serve tea and wicked concoctions to famous Disney villains later today, or which was, what day was that? Thursday? or
Thursday,
Wednesday.
I think. Yeah.
In this coffee shop sim, Ursula, Gaston, Cruella, and more are all here to ask for some drinks and serve up villainous dialogue in response. Interesting game. I'm sure a lot of kids will like it. Not my jam.
Yeah, me neither.
I can see a version of a game like this that I could like though.
Yeah, same. It's got potential.
So next we have a game that looks awesome.
Mm.
I never thought I'd see a game like this and be so into it. Witchbrook.
Mm.
The
Yes.
long-awaited spellcrafting and witchery life sim from Chucklefish, hilarious name, showed off some new gameplay today, spotlighting its chill vibes and co-op gameplay set in a cozy witch academy. Witchbrook will be open for enrollment sometime this holiday season. This game looks so good.
God,
I want this game so
like,
bad. This game looks
idly
awesome.
following. It is. I've been idly following the development like on the back end, and it's so exciting to see it finally come to fruition. Love games like these, and I just can't wait. And Chucklefish makes really, really good games. Like they have some interesting history. But Chucklefish is the publisher of Stardew Valley. What
Yeah,
else? Starbound.
I heard that.
Yeah, and while they do have an interesting history, they make good games. They publish good games, so I have really high hopes for this game.
Yeah, it does seem like I immediately thought of Stardew Valley when I first saw it. And yeah, it's funny. So I was on an episode of the BOPA podcast. BOPA is the Baltimore office of something in arts. What does the F stand for? I forget what the F stands for. Oh, it's BOPA. It's a P. There is no F. What am I talking about? Is the Baltimore Office of Promotion of the Arts. They
Oh,
have they have
okay.
they have a podcast, and I was
Oh, sick.
was a guest on it. And towards the end of that episode, I pitched a game, and it was basically this, but in Baltimore without powers. It was just you're an art student going to a fictional version of Micah, and it's a what do you call it? Social sim, similar to like Persona, minus the like turn-based combat. Essentially, I pitched a game. Basically, I want a combination of Life is Strange and like the social sim elements of the Persona series into one game
Mhm.
that takes place in Baltimore that just shows Baltimore and its artistic side and less of the like violent crime stuff that people show all the time, which is such a small, insignificant part of the city as a whole. And like this game just reminds me of like what a game like that could look like.
There's like I don't know. I hope it spawns a lot more games like this, but not like the like cozy farming sim, but like specifically ones that are like I don't know how to phrase what I'm trying to say,
I like
but
that it's
I
in a
can
city. I like how urban it
yeah
is.
yeah
And
yeah yeah
I
yeah
like
yeah
the environment. The art looks so good. Like this art style in an urban environment just works so well.
right. Like I want more urban life sims. The
Yeah,
cities are
for
like
sure.
I don't know. There's just so much potential with an urban life sim. Like we have ones in the cozy countryside.
Mm.
Give me New York Simulator.
New York Simulator is crazy. But after that we got The Internal Life of Goldman. Explore a dangerous archipelago and uncover its secrets in The Internal Life of Goldman, a new action adventure title this holiday season. Another awesome looking game, fully 2D animated, in a very Disney-esque, almost dang, I forget the name of the like uh something Bluth?
Don Blue.
Don Bluth style almost. Yeah. A very
Yes.
Don Bluth esque game that has mechanics almost similar to like Shovel Knight, where you except
Mm-hmm.
it's a cane instead of a shovel, and it
Right.
reminds me of a Cuphead in the sense that it's fully 2D animated. This very influential art style. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Another
It
game
does. It
I'm
does.
excited to check out. So next we have Gradius Origins. Celebrate the 40th anniversary
Yes.
of the Gradius games with this collection of classic arcade shoot 'em ups, including the brand new Salamander 3, which was very interesting inclusion in this. It was like we're giving you all these new games
Yep.
plus a remake, or not a
Right.
remake, a sequel to one of the
Yeah.
games that's in this collection. Because when they said like Gradius 1, 2, 3, and then Salamander 1, 2, I was like, oh, well, now it's kind of uneven. There's no Salamander 3. And then they're like, but now there's a Salamander 3. So yeah, this is cool. I randomly came across a trailer for another game that was basically a combination of like I forget which one is the side scroller, Gradius or Salamander.
I think it's Gradius.
It was like a combination of Gradius and like a side scrolling like shoot 'em up. Where like you play as a
Mm.
person and shoot 'em up and then they get to a jet and they start flying and it was really cool. And this happens all the time where like I think I come up with a unique idea and then I randomly come across a trailer for something that's the exact same. Where I was like, that would be a cool game, and then I saw that I was like, oh, it already exists. But it doesn't mean I can't make it too. But
Right. Just wrong spin on it.
but yeah,
But yes,
it looks cool. Gradius.
I'm excited. I love Gradius. I love side-scrolling shoot. I love shoot 'em ups in general. But I feel like that was pretty obvious. As a Toho fan, of course, I love shoot 'em ups. But Gradius are some of my favorites. They're so fun. I hope that this means we get a Parodius remake or re-release something because that game is hilarious. It's very raunchy, but I
What's
think that's what
Parodius?
Parodius is a parody of the Gradius games that like kind of takes the side-scrolling shoot 'em up gameplay and it's like they play exactly the same, but the situations that you're put in are a lot more absurd. The enemies are like giant legs with fishnets on, stuff like that. It's like it's an absurd version of Gradius on
Oh,
purpose.
send me a trailer
Just
for that. That sounds cool.
yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's really old. Oh, there's a series.
Hmm?
I didn't know that. I'll have to play the rest. They fall under like a subgenre called cute 'em ups because they're silly.
Yeah. So next we saw Rift of the Necro Dancer. The Krypton
Yeah.
of the Necro Dancer crew takes on rhythmic battles and fun minigames later today. The Celeste DLC also adds some music and characters from the famous platformer, and more DLC is on the way. So like it was playing, and I was like, cool, and then music started playing. I was like, hold on now, this is fire. And then they said Celeste. I was like, oh, no wonder. It's Darren Korb. No wonder I'm
Oh,
vibing to this
wow.
music so hard. But yeah, next one, Necrodancer. This is the type of rhythm game that I don't like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I saw it and I was like, yes, this is why I don't like rhythm games. Doesn't mean I can't like them, but this is
Right.
the type that doesn't interest me. But I'll have to give them a try to see if that really is true or not.
Yeah.
So next we had Tomogochi Plaza, a new entry in the Tamagotchi Connection series. This will let you and your pals engage in different activities around different shops through cute mini games, meet more Tamagotchi, and grow your town on June 27th, 2025. Apparently, we've all been
Mhm.
mispronouncing Tamagotchi our entire lives.
I've been saying Tamagotchi.
Most people say Tamagotchi, but
Yeah, I get
it's
why.
apparently Tamagotchi, which is,
Yeah, because it's a pun.
it makes sense. Yeah, like I read it and I go, yeah, that makes sense because it's Japanese. It's not English.
Right.
Of course, it's go and not ga. But like,
Mm.
I've been calling it Tamagotchi my entire life.
And that's valid. Yeah, it's a pun. Tamago is egg in Japanese, but then friend is tomodachi, so it's a portmanteau. It's silly. I'm excited for this game though. Again, very quiet fan of just like the all the I love little guys,
Mm.
and I love little guys that I can put on my keys and take with me. These ones I cannot, but you know, I'm excited. It looks really cute.
Unless you like attach your Switch to a keychain or something.
Right. But yeah, it looks really cute, and I don't know. It's just I need a cozy, like laid back game to play. I've been playing such high stress video games lately.
Yeah. So next we have Pokemon Legends ZA. Still set for sometime later in 2025, Nintendo showed some more gameplay of Pokemon ZA and its wild areas set around Lumio City. New Pokemon won't just appear in grassy areas, but around rooftops and other parts of the city too. Plus, we get a tease of the ZA Royale, a tournament held from Lumio City, where trainers will battle for a wish granted. This game looks cool.
Mm,
Looks fun.
that,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
this and watching what do you call them? Kind of funny games go through was it Heart Gold Soul Silver
Mhm.
doing a Nuzlocke is again I told you before that they played the first two games before. They played Fire Red
Right.
and did the person who's like 40 something years old was playing Pokemon for the first time and was doing a Nuzlocke. um,
Which is
with
insane.
some slightly relaxed rules, but it's still a Nuzlocke. And now
Right.
he's playing Heart Gold Soul Silver Nuzlocke,
Mm.
which is really fun to
And
watch.
it's funny
And it makes me want to
because,
just
like,
play more Pokemon.
yeah, I
I
was gonna
because I
say,
haven't played Pokemon in a long time, and I've only ever played Emerald.
mm, which is valid. That's based. I've played a lot of Pokemon, or not a lot, but like a good chunk. Never done a Nuzlocke. I think they scare me a little bit. I get so attached. I
But
name
at
my
least it's
Pokemon and
like
stuff.
it's not like official unless you like I don't know pirate it and do some mod or something. But like so you like always
Right.
have the option of breaking the rules. But like if Nintendo
Right.
were to add an official Nuzlocke mode, then it'd be more stressful because then your Pokemon would just disappear and die forever.
Right.
Which they should do that. I don't know why they haven't.
Yeah.
Next we have Rhythm Heaven Groove. A new entry
Yes.
in the classic Nintendo Rhythm series is on the way with Rhythm Heaven Groove. Quirky challenges, fun rhythmic activities, and its excellent art all look set to keep the party going. The beat kicks up with Rhythm Heaven Groove sometime in 2026, the first in 10 years, I've been told.
Yes.
This is another one of those rhythm games that I'm like, you know what? I want to play it.
I used to pray for times like this, okay? Like I think I've told you, at least if I've told anybody, that I am a huge Rhythm Heaven fan. They are some of my favorite rhythm games, and honestly games in general of all time. Rhythm Heaven Silver, which is the one for the DS, is peak IMO. And all this time I've been like, I really wish we could get another Rhythm Heaven game, because Mega Mix was acceptable. But you know, there's the series is so good and it has the potential to go on forever. So to see this be announced is like this was more than I could have hoped for from this direct, and then some. But the fact that it comes out in 2026 makes me so sad. I want to play it now. I need it to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's weird that they announced it so far ahead, but from my understanding, like the person who does the music for it had like some terminal illness that resulted in them like their voice being injured.
Yeah, so cool. It's
and
sad.
and I feel like maybe they like announced it now, like for him almost, like, or them to be like, just so they could see the game that they worked so hard on to be announced, just in case anything happens. Because like I don't know much about this person; they could be older for all I know, and like who knows. So like yeah, it makes sense. I'm gonna send you a trailer that I've sent you before, but I don't know if you remembered, for a game called Unbeatable that's set to release maybe sometime this year.
I think so.
That like looks so awesome. Oh, I didn't realize they released one of the songs from it. Ooh, I gotta listen to that. But yeah, Unbeatable.
Yeah, I remember
this was the first rhythm game where I saw it and I was like, I want to play this. I want to play this game. This game looks awesome. This game looks so cool. This is like the coolest rhythm game I've ever seen in my entire life. And yes, it is set for this year. I'm so excited for Unbeatable. It looks really cool. It's like it's a world where like music is illegal or something. It's like Footloose or something. And they're like anarchists, you know, fighting against the power of playing music. It looks cool. It looks so cool.
It does.
But the next thing they announced, you know, I wonder if we should save this for last, or if we should do it now, which is the virtual game cards. Do you think we should do that like last, alongside like the app? Okay, let's come back to that.
Okay.
So there's this reel where they just showed a bunch of games that's coming to the console. High on Life is coming May 6th. Star Overdrive April 10th. The Wandering Village July 17th. King of Meat 2025. Lose Lagoon Summer 2025. Fantasy Life. The Girl Who Steals Time May 21st 2025. Any of those catch your eye? Is that a yes or a no?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Not yeah.
Yeah, so next we got Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. Another Saga series classic is getting an updated look with Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, featuring the original story and brand new events that expand the story. This picturesque take on the classic arrives later today on Nintendo Switch 2. You got any experience with or you know anything about Saga Frontier?
I'm aware of it. I've never played any of the games, and I can't say that I've had any experience with them at all, but I know of them.
Cool. So next we have Monument Valley 1, 2, and 3, another game where they announced a threequel alongside the remasters. So several classic puzzle games from mobile devices, Monument Valley 1 and 2, are set to get you scratching your head on April 15th, 2025. Also, Monument Valley 3 will bring even more gorgeous vistas and puzzles to Switch this summer. This looks cool. I've heard of Monument Valley, but never paid much attention to it. It looks fun. Maybe
I've played Monument Valley, and I think you absolutely should check it out because they're great games and they're really fun. It's just a good time.
Next, we have Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, another PlayStation game making its way to Nintendo consoles. You want to know what's hilarious? I don't know if they did the same thing with Patapon, but this game will be on Nintendo. It will be on PC. It will not be on Xbox.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
Okay, they specifically said it will not be on Xbox. We hate you. A new entry in the Everybody's Golf series is teed up for the green on Nintendo Switch. Tournaments, challenges, rivals, and more await, as well as some of the sillier modes like Wacky Golf, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots arrive sometime this year. Yeah. So, yeah, I heard it immediately. I was like, oh, yeah, that's the game that iconic meme comes from.
Right.
Nice shot. But imagine they didn't say shot. So, next, we got an incredible announcement of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Marvel's finest beat 'em up. And this throwback arcade-style brawler, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, made by the same team behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Have you played that yet?
And it's really good.
Have you played it?
I have.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I couldn't remember if you played it or not.
Yeah.
You can run it solo or team up with up to 4 players, local or co-op play. fight for the fate of the Marvel Universe this holiday season. So it's going to have 15 characters. And we've only saw, I think, 7 maybe? We saw Captain America, we saw Spider-Man, Storm, Nova, Venom, and something Vel, which is she was the villain in the Marvels movie, which this was probably meant to be like a bit of a tie-in with, and she's like related to the original Captain Marvel. But yeah, random character. But it's cool that there's a random character in this like that. Marvel's finally just letting random characters live in their stuff. Like Marvel Rivals, they got characters that nobody heard of in there.
Right.
So I discovered that Luna Snow, right? Of course, she's in the comics now, but she was originally created by NetEase for a different game before making her way into the comics, and then NetEase decided to bring her back for this game, which is crazy. They created this character, and they were like, "You're gonna like this character,"
right?
And now everybody loves her. And the moment she shows up in live action, people are also gonna love her because she's a K-pop idol. They could tell a real interesting story if they really wanted to like get deep into it and actually like criticize K-pop. They could tell a really good story with Luna Snow, because like K-pop, like the idol industry is wild. It's insane.
Yeah.
So the last game announcement we had was Tomodachi Life: Living the Dream. Tomodachi Life returns with Living the Dream, the first new entry in over 10 years. Sees various Tomodachi living life out at sea, getting married, dancing, fighting, smelling the flowers, and generally hanging out, plus a weird dream sequence. Look forward to learning more about the Tomodachi Life Living the Dream in 2026. Another game that's way out. But I know nothing about Tomodachi Life.
Now, see, that's my wheelhouse. I am a staunch Tomodachi Life enjoyer. I love the first game, and a lot of people argue that Tomodachi Life for the 3DS is the first game. It is not. There was a DS version of it called Tomodachi Collection, and it had taken the meme maker technology from the Wii and put it on the Nintendo DS, which was groundbreaking at the time, and it's definitely got its issues. Also, the fact that it was never released in America. I played it anyway.
Yeah, I never realized Tomodachi was a Nintendo thing. I always thought it was a separate company.
It's a Nintendo property. But I love those games to pieces. They are so fun. It's like The Sims, but much less higher stakes. Like, I don't have to play Tomodachi Life for hours and hours on end to wait for something to happen, right? And that's why I love them so much. And I've heard rumors. I don't know if this is true or not, but they're using the same they're like using the same kind of meme maker technology that they did in Miitopia, which has really, really detailed meme making capabilities. And if they bring the makeup system back from Miitopia, where it's like you can make your me with like the general facial features at first, and then you can like put makeup on top of them to kind of refine the features, which is what people were using to like make those crazy ass me's in Miitopia. But if they bring that system back for Tomodachi Collection and then let people be gay, this game will print money. This game will break the global economy single-handedly.
That sounds dope.
It's such a dope game, and it's really simple. Like, it's just you make memes of like people you know or like characters you like, and you put them in an apartment building and force them to interact, and it's hilarious.
Kind of like Sims. Sounds like Sims.
Yeah, very Sims-esque. I have a Tomodachi Island right now where it's like me, my girlfriend, a couple of my family members, and then like characters from stuff that I like. My girlfriend is married to Nicholas D. Wolfwood in Tomodachi Life right now, and it's insane.
I really thought you were about to say Nicolas Cage.
That's crazy. Someone did make a Nicolas Cage me, and I thought about putting him in there, but I didn't have enough space. But yeah, it's insane. Like, and insane shit like that happens. Like, that's the nature of the game. You can put like, oh, be cute, and like put like you and your significant other, and then your significant other will go and marry like Pickle Rick. It's crazy. And to see like the game evolve so much, and to see like it become so much bigger and have so much potential, I cannot wait for 2026. It's like between this, Trigun Stargaze, and the new Rhythm Heaven game, I have a lot to look forward to in 2026.
I'm happy for you. It looks cool.
Yeah.
So, last but certainly not least, we have two more things. First, Nintendo Today. Earlier I called it Nintendo Now. It's called Nintendo Today. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto took the stage at the end to announce Nintendo Today, a new app that will deliver news, comics, and more for Nintendo fans. Miyamoto confirmed that after the Switch 2 Direct next week, more information about the Switch 2 will be published on the Today app, which goes live later today. Maybe I'll download the app that day. Not now.
Definitely not.
But yeah,
now.
that's where they announced the Zelda stuff. So, interesting. But last, and certainly not least, we have the virtual game cards. Nintendo is introducing a new system for playing games, mimicking physical game cards, with something called virtual game cards. These will let you shift games between two Switch systems by virtually ejecting and loading games to each console, and allowing limited lending between members in your Nintendo account family group. This feature is planned to arrive in late April. So, Nintendo can sometimes be like Apple and introduce something that their competitors have been doing for years, like it's brand new.
Yeah.
Now, some of the functions like lending games for a limited amount of time before it automatically returns to you is unique and interesting, and put you in a situation where you don't have to ask somebody to give you your game back. It just happens automatically. But
Right.
like this is a thing that has existed through like Steam and PlayStation and Xbox for a very long time.
Yeah.
But glad they're doing it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And
me
this is
too.
going to be great for families where people own multiple Switches and you don't want to have to spend like $120 on a game to get it for like yourself and your kid or both kids, or like more than that. Like you get one game and it just gets bounced between the kids.
And I see people complaining. They're like, "Oh, the 2 week thing is so stupid," but it's like it's very obviously to prevent people from keeping your games. Like, or
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be serious now.
Because if you give them a real game card, they could just not return it. But the virtual one, they have no choice. Now they need to adjust the time limit, because it sounded like it's only 14 days. And it was like, let me make it like 30 days.
Yeah, it's like you should definitely be able to like pick how long you lend your game out. But
I feel like there has to be like a limit though, because you can't if you make it a year and then you're like, I want it back now, and they're like, no. Or like there has to be a way for you to forcibly take it back or something. But like,
yeah, so there's some sort of check and balance in place.
Like this will definitely evolve over time.
Yeah.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
No, just as it stands, this is a really cool system, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's cool. It makes me like want to get more virtual games on Nintendo, but because I was thinking like getting a lot of physical and just getting a case where I could have them all in there, because they're little cards. Yeah. So for me, it depends on. Like I could for sure get certain games cheaper, like through eBay physically than digitally on their stuff. But also, they're gonna remaster some stuff. So there's so many games that I haven't played that I have time to wait for them to remaster everything.
Right.
So I'm waiting. Hopefully they have a remaster of Breath of the Wild day one.
Right. I buy most of my games on Switch digitally just because I hate keeping up with the little cards. It irritates me so bad. I lose things really easily.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might do the same, honestly.
Yeah, like I lose things really easily, and the Switch cartridges are actually rather small. Like they're small.
They're like SD cards almost.
Yeah, they are about SD card size and really easy to lose if you like take one out, and then like given the amount of like I'm thinking about my current Switch library that I have, and like thinking about having all those games physically is driving me nuts because I would lose at least half of them.
But yeah, that was the final Nintendo Switch Direct, one that's focusing specifically and only on games for the first Nintendo Switch. And next it'll be Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 games until they stop making stuff for the first Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for next week. We're gonna jump straight to it right out of this, and go into the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So
yeah.
So it is 3 days after we finished recording the vast majority of this episode of the podcast, and it is Wednesday afternoon, and we're going to be discussing the Switch 2 Direct that happened earlier this morning. We're going to very quickly go over, everything we saw today, and in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go into more detail and talk about all the additional information that we get over the coming days, because there's going to be a lot of Nintendo treehouses, and people are going to get hands-on with the Switch 2 and in
Mhm.
various places across the planet. And, that'll be exciting to talk about when, all the information comes out. But for now, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct started with Mario Kart World. We got a full trailer reveal, and Mario Kart World is a massive interconnected world that Nintendo wants you to explore. While there will be traditional levels with up to 24 drivers, there is much more freedom during and outside of the races. Rather than switching between tracks, you will manually drive to the next one. We also saw characters grinding on rails and riding walls. There will be two brand new game modes, Knockout Tour and Free Roam. Knockout Tour is an elimination / battle royale style mode where you have to be the last driver racing as you travel across the wide world of this latest Mario Kart to avoid elimination. So, are you a big Mario Kart player?
See, my relationship with Mario Kart is complicated because I really, really like the game and I play them quite frequently. They give me motion sickness so bad, so I can't stand to play them for more than like hours at a time. And it really, really sucks because like I'm super excited for Mario Kart World. Mostly the knockout tour thing. I'm like that when I saw that in the direct, I was like, that looks fascinating. So it's like I'm super excited for it, but I'm also concerned. I hope that there's like settings in the settings if we get any that'll like alleviate motion sickness or whatever. But other than like outside of my own personal things, I'm really excited. It looks really cool. It's exciting to see some of the characters they decided to include. Like the Moo Moo Meadows cow was kind of crazy, but I rock with it heavily.
Yeah, Moo Meadows Cow over Dry Bones is crazy though.
I think you never know. There might be more.
But yeah, it looks good. This will probably be my first
Ooh.
Mario Kart. I don't believe I've ever played
Oh
Mario
wow.
Kart. There's a lot of Nintendo
Like
games
at
that I just haven't
all?
played before. Yeah, I've not played Mario Kart.
Wow.
So this will probably be my first. So it is launching alongside the Switch 2 on June 5th, and it will cost $80, which
Yeah.
isn't just higher than any Switch One game, but it's more than any other game. Period. Even PlayStation, Xbox, PC games don't cost $80 unless you're buying like the digital deluxe edition or something like that.
Right.
And the hope is that this is a Mario Kart thing because they know that everybody and their mother is going to buy Mario Kart, so they know they can fleece them. Um,
Right.
but also it could not be, and games might be going up another $10 in a
Which
very
is
short period of
insane.
time because we had $60 for decades or like
Mhm.
15 years, and then we went up to 70, and then to go up to 80 in less than 5 years would be crazy.
Right. And then that's before all the tariffs and stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, it's wild.
I hope that they do a thing. This probably won't happen, but I have my fingers crossed that they'll do a thing where it's like if you buy it physically, it's $80, but if you buy it digitally, you get a slight discount. I feel like I
I
don't know.
believe it actually
It
costs more physically, so I think 80
that
is
makes
like
sense.
the cheapest. Yeah, they're really trying to push us towards digital, which we'll talk a lot more about in the next episode when we really go into how
Mm-hmm.
much a lot of this stuff costs. Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
announced the Mario Kart World Direct will take place on April 17th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, it seems like they're taking a lot of inspiration from some of their contemporaries with this game, like Forza Horizon,
Mm-hmm.
which is Xbox's
For
open
sure, for
world
sure.
racing game. I saw some of like additional um, kind of footage from the game of the open world that either I don't know if I missed it because I was taking notes or it was just like from some stuff from the website and a separate trailer where they showed more of the
Mm.
actual free roaming stuff where you can like get off of the road and like ride into the grass and like across the desert, and it looks really cool.
Mm. It
Yeah,
does, it does.
decided to check this out. So
Yeah.
now getting into the specs, the Switch 2 has a 7.9-inch 1080p LCD screen, unfortunately not OLED, that
Mm.
supports HDR and up to 120 frames per second, variable refresh rate. And when using the dock, you, I can only imagine how surprised you were. You can play
Mm.
games at up to 4K resolution at 60
I
frames per
know.
second. Nobody was expecting this. No one expected a Nintendo console to have 4K this soon. I thought we were going to have to wait
Right.
another 10 years before we got 4K on a Nintendo console. But no, they did it. They did what everybody wanted.
They locked in.
They did it. Yeah, the Switch 2 tech specs site says that the console will offer up to 6.5 hours of battery life, with a footnote that says these are rough estimates. The battery life will depend on the games you play. It has 256 gigabytes of internal storage, up from the 32 gigabytes of the first Switch. And finally, we got an official reveal of the mouse functionality of the new Joy-Con 2s. It will launch June 5th at $449.99 with a $49.99 Mario Kart bundle, which would make essentially be the equivalent of buying Mario Kart for $50. And pre-orders begin April 9th. So obviously everybody's going to get that bundle. I'm going to get that bundle. If I can't get this bundle, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm probably just going straight up and not get Mario Kart because I don't know I'm not about to pay $80 for no game. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. It maybe any other game, maybe not Mario Kart. Not in a million years.
I'm not that into Mario Kart to want to do that. Yeah. Like I've never played it before, so I don't even know if I like it. I'm not going to pay $80 for a game I'm not sure if I like. But I'll pay $50 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think about those specs? Very surprising.
So, I'm not usually a specs person, but to see a Nintendo console like reach this level of like the 120 frames, the just all of it is so surprising. But like it makes me so I've never been excited for a console before, like ever in my life.
The dock is so powerful that it has a fan.
That's what I'm saying.
And by itself, if you need a replacement dock, it costs $120.
Oh, yikes. But, like, I don't know. It's just like seeing this thing. Where am I at now, brain-wise? It's like I can only imagine what the homebrewing potential of this thing is going to be once it settles in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what crazy things are people going to do with this, like they did with the 3DS and whatnot? It's exciting to see. Very exciting.
Yeah. So, the mysterious C button was revealed, and it is for the Game Chat. Game Chat is a new online feature from Nintendo that will let players play and talk with each other while playing Nintendo Switch 2 games. Once Game Chat is activated, players will be able to press the C button on the right Joy-Con to not only start chatting with friends, but also share their screen, use video chat with the Nintendo Switch 2 camera accessory, or other compatible USB-C cameras, and more. Supposedly, the mic will be able to pick up your voice from across the room in docked mode, and have noise cancellation that can get rid of background noise and isolate your voice. But I highly doubt it's that sophisticated.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
That was kind of ridiculous.
They were kind of BSing a bit.
Somebody using a blender in the background and they can hear your voice clearly. Yeah, right. If they pulled that off, that would be insane. But yeah, they essentially just made Nintendo Discord.
Right.
They doing it like this so that parents could have more control over this stuff for their kids. But
for sure, which I
because
if
they just did like Discord functionality, then kids could just do whatever and it could get weird. So they want to limit. They want to have control over it. It's why Nintendo has been super weird about voice chats over the decades, because children are their primary audience, and people online can be weirdos.
Very weird, very weird.
So I understand why they're doing this, even though it's still. It's not that deep, because ultimately, before like consoles had Discord functionality like they do now, people would just get on Discord on their phone and just talk to their friends while playing games that way. So you can still do that. So
yeah, that's how me and my cousins would play Animal Crossing together.
So yeah, this just makes it a little bit easier if you want to do it that way. You could just keep doing it what you always have been. The camera functionality is interesting.
Very interesting.
Especially that they have their own like proprietary camera too.
I think honestly, seeing it in the direct, I was like, this is kind of, I don't think anybody's gonna like buy this, but I see why.
Yeah, I can see people who already have cameras plugging it up to the Switch, but I don't see a lot of people buying the Nintendo Switch camera.
Yeah, nobody
for anything other than novelty, because they're super fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and they want to own like every Switch peripheral.
Yeah, especially depending on the price of that thing. Yeah,
I think it's $60.
ridiculous. No one's buying it. Sorry, Nintendo.
Yeah. They also showed off a Game Share. Game Share lets you play multiplayer titles locally across different systems with only one of you needing to have the game installed. Maybe this will help cut on game cost alongside, being able to share your digital game cards. This
Mhm.
feature is available between Switch 2 systems and from Switch 2 to Switch 1. Nintendo stated that Game Share will only be available on select titles at launch.
Mhm. For now, I think Clubhouse games, and then they'll expand further and further as the demand increases. But Clubhouse games, I think, is a good starting for it because like that's probably what people will want to share the most. It's very DS download play esque, which I really really. They were like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can share it with up to 4 people and play together. That's
yeah,
immediately
for
what I
sure.
thought
It
of. I was
has
like, yeah, that's like,
definitely be great. Like, let's say, either I somehow don't get the Switch with Mario Kart, or someone else doesn't get it, but I do, and it's like they want to play Mario Kart and they have the Switch too, but they don't have Mario Kart because they don't want to pay $80 for it. And it's like, okay, we can play Mario Kart. We can just play it locally, or I could lend it to you. There's Nintendo has ways around it, which is cool
mm-hmm.
that they have those things built in.
Yeah.
So we got the announcement of a new Switch 2 Pro controller, which will
Mm-hmm.
absolutely be my primary way to play. This update comes
Yeah,
with
for sure.
a C button, of course, an audio jack for plugging in mics and headphones, and two back pedals,
Mm.
which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you got two
You can
additional
assign them to
buttons.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing about the Switch 2 Pro controller that I'm disliking is the fact that I have to get one.
I
like
believe it is $80.
which is ridiculous. That's about how much pro
Controllers are
controllers are
expensive. Yeah.
anyway.
Is it like what
But
is it? The
like
Xbox and PlayStation Pro controllers are insane in terms of cost.
yeah, it's like I think my thing with it is right. Like the Switch 2 is so new that there are no bootleg like controllers for it, so I can't go on Amazon and get the silly ones that say like Squintendo or whatever because they don't exist. So I have to pay $80 for this thing.
I mean, you could wait. Just
I
use Joy
do,
Cons. I'm
huh?
curious. I don't know if they've said that the old one isn't compatible though.
Yeah, I was going to say if the old one's compatible, then I'm not gonna
Yeah, you
buy a
can
new one
just
unless I
yeah
absolutely
you can just
do.
wait until the third party ones happen.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't think I'm going to be using the voice chat function very much. Most
Yeah.
people that like I'm friends with on Switch Online or people I know in real life. So
Mm-hmm. So they showed off a Switch 2 Welcome Tour game. And a Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is an interactive and fun way to learn more about this new console and everything it can do, and will launch with the Switch 2. But for some weird reason, you have to buy it. Why doesn't
that's
this come with the system?
insane.
Like
Right.
there were Astrobot tech demos on both the PS4 and PS5 that you did not have to pay for. They were just part of the game to like show off all of the new functionality of the console. And these games are definitely like, in terms of production, like definitely cost more than this. So why
I was
is
gonna say, aren't
this?
they like actual games
Yes,
rather than like
it's the reason
oh
why they
man.
eventually ended up making a full on Astrobot games, because these mini Astrobot games that they used to show off the consoles were so good.
Oh Nintendo.
Yeah, this is such a weird choice by Nintendo. They're really trying to gouge people. It's upsetting.
No, for real.
So next, some real exciting news of them doing more of the
Yes.
stuff that we actually want them to do. We got the announcements of several Switch 2 edition games. Games that are
Mm-hmm.
or will be available on the OG Switch that will be upgraded for the Switch 2. The first one they showed was Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, which will add new features and modes that take advantage of the Switch 2. This expanded version will feature mini games that use mouse controls, the built-in mic, and the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, alongside a new Bowser live game show 2v2 experience. So, what did you think about that? You a big Mario Party player?
Mario Party player, not the more recent ones, because
Mm.
I don't know, Jamboree just was not doing it for me. However, I am excited about these new game modes because I know they're gonna be. I feel like they're gonna be clunky, but in like the fun way that like a new console, like trying out new technology always is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this seems like the best use of the camera.
For sure. And then also you called it, because remember you were, I think in our earlier recording session you were talking about like how you were hoping, like fingers crossed for like re-releases of these games
Oh
really
yeah,
like
oh yeah,
HDified for Switch 2.
oh
So you
yeah.
called it.
So
I saw that.
speaking
And I
of
thought of you
which,
immediately.
the two games I wanted it for the most, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, are both getting Switch 2 editions at launch that will grant smoother frame rates, faster load times, and better graphics. I'm curious at just how faster these load times will be.
Yeah, same.
And they'll probably be like less pop-in and stuff like that. Definitely excited for that. Those will be the first two games I get, other than the game that it's if I hopefully get the bundle. Other than that, these will be the first two games I get. Next, another game I'm super excited for is a character that I love. I love Kirby, and Kirby in the Forgotten Lands is getting a Switch 2 edition that includes a brand new story called Star-Crossed World that will include new mouthfeel modes to utilize. The game will also have improved performance when it arrives on Switch 2 on August 28th of 2025. So yeah, I love Kirby. I love Kirby so much. I also want to get the Switch so I can go back and play old Kirby games because I love Kirby Dreams. I love Kirby's Dream Land so much.
It's based. I'm a Superstar enjoyer myself, but
Next, we have the thing that so many people thought wouldn't happen. Not only is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, of all of the Nintendo Switch 2 editions, it is the only one that is getting a 4K 60 edition. And it will have a mode, that will be the quality mode, and it's getting a performance mode that's going to be 1080p 120 frames per second. And it will feature mouse control. So you can play it, like a first-person shooter. With mouse and not amazing. Keyboard, but mouse and other controller.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of people thought this would happen, but not only did it happen, but it happened in a bigger way than anybody could have ever expected.
Exactly, which is exciting.
Yeah, and last but certainly not least, we have Pokemon Legends EA, which will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 with improved resolution and frame rates when it releases later this year. And so these cost money, but we don't know how much. Normally, it would be like $10. That's how PlayStation Xbox does it. But with how much this stuff costs, people are afraid that it might cost like $20. But for me, I would just be buying these games for the first time, so it wouldn't be that deep. But
yeah,
if you already own Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and you have Switch Online Expansion Pass, it's free. The upgrade's free.
Wait, really?
Yes. But the rest of them seem like they still cost money, but we'll have to see if that's true or not. Next, we have DragxDrive. DragxDrive is a brand new online 3v3 game that puts the focus on Switch 2's new mouse controls. Players will use their Joy-Cons to play basketball and control their wheelchairs, perform tricks, shoot and dunk the ball, and more. This is probably insanely cool for wheelchair-bound people to see, and I hope that we can get more games like this that represent disabilities in a way that isn't like pitying and is like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this releases summer 2025. The only unfortunate thing is I think that this is a tech demo. That's all this is.
Yeah.
But
that's what it feels like.
So is like ARMS. But the difference is this looks so bland and boring in comparison.
Yeah.
Like this could have been way more interesting. I feel like they did not put a lot of work into making this actually look cool.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Fingers crossed on release that like it kind of changes a little, like the look of it changes a little and it gets a little more interesting because the concept is fascinating, and like you said, like the disability rep is really, really cool to see. So like I hope that we get a little bit more on top of what we've already been shown, because like you said, it definitely looks very tech demo-esque and not in a good way.
Yeah. So next we got some Nintendo Online updates. GameCube games are finally coming to Nintendo Switch Online, but they are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. These classic games will begin launching when Switch 2 is released, and it will all start with The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2 with a playable Link. Yeah. So a lot of people want Wind Waker HD. And unfortunately this is not that. but it's when
But
we're
it's close. Yeah.
maybe
I'm definitely going to be playing it.
yeah. So Nintendo will also be releasing a brand new wireless GameCube controller that can be used to play these titles. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they do the GameCube controller before, and they're doing it again with the C button? Or is this the first time they did GameCube controller?
I think it's the first time they've done it, and
Yeah,
all the other ones are like third party. But I'm
Okay.
not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Because they said that, and I was like, what? I could have sworn they did this before. And I'm like, am I confusing it with the N64 controller? I could have sworn they did both, but I don't know. I think maybe it's just they're adding the C button, but we'll see. They'll probably do the N64 controllers with the C button eventually, too.
Yeah.
So next we have a bunch of third-party games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. So they started with the biggest one, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, which includes the base game, plus the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, new weapons, armor, and Torrent appearance customizations, which Torrent is the horse that you ride in the game.
Ooh.
Next, we got Hades 2, which was they just essentially just said that it's coming to Switch. But in the IGN article by Adam Bankhurst, I discovered that it's going to be coming to the Switch exclusively at first for like a short period of time or something like that. It's coming to Switch before the other consoles, like it did with the first game. It came out on Switch in full. The 1.0 version came out on Switch before it came out on PS4 and Xbox and PC. Or maybe it came out on PC at the same time, but it did not come out.
It came out on PC. Yeah.
But it did come out on PS4 and Xbox. So yeah, that's interesting.
Very
and it will have
very exciting also.
Yeah, it will have 60 frames per second. I'm excited for that. Because
Me too.
hopefully they have cross save day one, so I can transfer my save from my PC to my Switch.
I would think so.
Next, we saw Street Fighter 6 coming to Switch 2, and it will have 3 amiibos of Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly.
Which is interesting to me because I didn't think they did amiibos anymore.
Yeah, and they're doing amiibos of third-party stuff, which is interesting.
Right.
So I'm going to run through a lot of these. Next, we have Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, Split Fiction, EA Sports games, so Madden, Football Club, Hogwarts Legacy, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, Hitman World of Assassination, and then they said that Project 007, which is being made by the Hitman devs, is coming to Switch, but they didn't show us any new information. I got so excited because I was like, oh my god, we're finally going to see some gameplay from the James Bond game they're making. I'm so excited for that. I love James Bond so much.
I bet.
We've been talking about, I've been like going through all of the old ones. I love James Bond. James Bond's great. And I'm so excited for this game.
Real.
Of course, I grew up on 007 too. And this is just, or GoldenEye specifically. And, this was them being, essentially a little wink and nod at GoldenEye.
I was going to say, it felt very cheeky.
Yeah, so also Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster.
I do want to talk about this very briefly because Bravely Default is one of my other favorite Square Enix properties.
Yeah, I've heard that it's
RPG-wise.
a very underrated
and I've been playing through the original
RPG.
On my 3DS. Huh?
No, I've heard that it's a very underrated RPG.
It's super underrated. Bravely Default is really, really good, but I was playing on my DS and then my DS broke. So I've been craving Bravely Default really badly. So to see it be released and I don't know, it gives me hope because some of the games didn't get released in America. So I'm like, maybe if the remaster does good, they'll release the rest of them here. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. Next, we got a Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which when they first showed Yakuza, I was like, oh, we're about to get all of them. But no, it's just Yakuza 0. I guess I will get the rest eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, piecemeal me, thanks.
Yeah, next, which was, it felt weird until you realize that this is made by a third-party studio, even though it's using a Nintendo original IP, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, coming this winter. Nintendo and Koei Tecmo are working on a new Musou-style game that will serve as a prequel to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, look cool. I'm not into Musou games. I used to play a little bit of Dynasty Warriors when I was younger, but they're not my style. I prefer hack and slash to be a little bit tighter, require a little bit more skill. For sure. So Oh, I guess this is when they showed the Nintendo GameCube Classics, just in the middle of this. But next we have Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 launching alongside the first two, which, previously already came out, when the Nintendo Switch releases on June 5th. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I have not played Undertale. I'm going to have to play that one these days.
You haven't?
Nope. I've watched people play it.
I still have my
I watched Markiplier play it when I was younger, but I've not played it myself.
That's valid. I still have my Humble Bundle link from all those years ago when I bought it. So if you want to play it,
Okay.
I have the hookup.
So then we have Borderlands 4, 2K WWE, 2K NBA, Survival Kids, Enter Gungeon, Starseeker, Astroneer Expeditions, and then two really big ones. Two games that I love a lot. One of them is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time, and the other one that made me rethink about how I feel about RPGs, JRPGs specifically. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is coming to the Switch. A game that wouldn't even run on a PS4 is coming to a Switch. Insanity.
Crazy how that works.
It's crazy. It's insane how that works. And Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which comes with the DLC with Yuffie. Exciting. But you have a PS4. Have you played Final Fantasy VII Remake?
No, I've been putting it off, but now that it's on Switch 2, I have no excuse.
Yeah. And it's coming to Switch 2 before Xbox. Fuck Xbox, I guess.
Know. That is so funny to me.
So next we have Duskbloods. A huge surprise. Let me tell you something, Aiara. For a hot second, because hold on before you say what you say, because maybe you're about to say what I'm about to say. So first off, the stream went down. Or it froze.
Oh,
so
it did?
I had to switch to watching somebody's reaction because I was I don't want to watch anybody's reaction. I want to watch it by myself, then watch reactions afterwards.
Right.
So I had to switch to watching Kind of Funny's reaction because the stream froze. What I realized what I should have done is gone to the UK stream because the UK stream was running fine because I was watching it through Nintendo of America. And so I was watching them react to it, and the people at Kind of Funny were having me convinced that this, after the FromSoft, first they were just having me convinced that it's one game, and then when the FromSoft showed up, they had me convinced that it was that game made by FromSoft. I thought we were about to get a FromSoft Castlevania.
See.
They had me convinced for a hot second that we were about to get a FromSoft Castlevania. Everything we've been talking about for months, I thought was about to happen. But what did you think it was before it was revealed?
Listen, I'm not even gonna lie to you for a single second. I was like Bloodborne 2. I'm like, this is insane.
And the thing is, that's basically
Bloodborne
what this
2
is.
on Switch?
That's basically what this is.
Yeah.
This is basically Bloodborne 2. It's being made by Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of the Dark Souls games and Elden Ring and Bloodborne. And unfortunately, PlayStation owns the rights to Bloodborne, and they refuse to do anything with Bloodborne. They won't even remaster it like a lot of people want them to. And this is essentially like a spiritual successor to that. That is exclusive to the Switch. Not only are we getting Elden Ring on a Switch, but we're getting a new FromSoft game that is exclusive to the Switch. The tides are turning. They're changing. Nintendo getting an exclusive FromSoft game? That is insane. That's ridiculous. It's coming in 2026. This new PvE multiplayer action game, which is giving us Bloodborne vibes, features a very gothic-looking world, and it appears we may be playing as a vampire as we see the player character biting into someone's neck. So yeah, this looks awesome, and it kind of, in a sense, if they have a whip, it's Castlevania. If there's a whip in this game, I am only using that whip.
As you should.
Towards the end of the trailer, there is a voice that is, I'm almost 100% certain it is the dude who voices Victor from Arcane. He has a very distinct voice, and I was like, that is him. But there's going to be an article going up on the 4th that is what do you call it? Interview with Miyazaki, discussing more about this. So we'll have more to talk about in the next episode. Next, we have my GOAT, Kirby. We have Kirby Air Riders. Directed by Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of Kirby, director of Smash Bros. coming to the
Mhm.
Switch too later this year in 2025. We didn't see any gameplay, but we did get a glimpse of Kirby on his Warp Star machine and other Kirby Air Riders on different machines. This will be the first Kirby Air Ride game since the original was released on GameCube in 2003. This is cool. I didn't know that Kirby even had
Very
like
cool.
a Kirby Kart game. I hope it's
Yeah,
good. Hope it does
everyone has
well.
been. Yeah, everyone's been like clamoring for a new Kirby Air Ride, and first of all, having a bit of a Mandela effect here because I always thought it was Kirby's Air Ride, like apostrophe S, but it's not, and it never has been, and that's kind of insane to me.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
no fruit
I've
in the cornucopia in Fruit Loom. Or is it that there's no cornucopia at all and it's just fruit? I can't remember.
I think it's that there's no cornucopia at all, and there never has been. But I know that's not true. Like all the other Mandela effects, like the Berenstain Bears one, I can understand. But like
That's
I
just
have seen it,
mispronunciation.
right? Or like the Nelson Mandela thing, that's just bad memory. But like I have seen the Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia in it. I know I have,
They're deceiving us.
and you can't tell me otherwise.
But yeah, I'm excited to see more of this game eventually.
Yeah.
And the last thing.
It's nice to see Sakurai back.
Sorry, go ahead. Well,
Oh,
first,
no, I was just saying it was nice to see.
yeah, for a second, I thought it was Smash Bros. Because Kirby is the unofficial main character of Smash Bros. And because Sakurai loves Kirby. And yeah, I thought it was Smash Bros. For a second. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I think I literally talked about it last episode. If Smash Bros. Comes back, they should just start over, just Nintendo characters, redo all the characters' movesets. But that's besides the point.
Or like, give us like a Melee remake or something. I don't know. Or like a Brawl. I would like a Brawl remake a lot.
Melee, might come with the GameCube stuff with Nintendo Online.
True.
But yeah, the very last game we saw was extremely surprising. Kinda. Has been something that's been rumored and people have thought was going to happen for a while because it was kind of just about time. And initially, this looked like it was going to be like a Super Mario Odyssey 2. It looked like it was going to be a brand new 3D Mario game because it's been a while. We haven't had a 3D Mario game since 2017, right? The first year that the Switch came out. So yeah, we've not had a 3D Mario game for a long time. So it was like, yeah, okay, 3D Mario, that makes sense. But no, it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Bonanza. The official blurb from the Nintendo website reads as such. Get ready for Donkey Kong Bonanza, a brand new 3D platforming action adventure, available exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Crash, bash, and climb through nearly everything in DK's path, and tear off chunks of terrain to swing around and throw in groundbreaking exploration. Literally. The more that is demolished with powerful punches, the more areas open up to discover. Break on through this adventure full of mayhem, surprises, and bananas when Donkey Kong Bonanza crashes onto Nintendo Switch July 17th. A little over a month after it releases. The Nintendo Switch, that is. This looks incredible. It looks awesome. The art style is so good. And they
I'm fascinated by it.
People noticed that Donkey Kong had a redesign in the very first Nintendo Switch 2 trailer where they showed a little glimpse of Mario Kart World. And everybody was like, why does he look different? He's got to be getting a new game. They didn't just redesign him and him alone and none of the other characters for no reason. And they were right. He's getting a new game. And his design, a lot of people thought it was weird because it's based off his original design versus the, rare redesign that they did for their games.
Right.
But seeing it in the game and in the art style, he looks incredible. He looks great. And it looks
really good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think they showed Donkey Kong in the Mario Kart trailer.
They didn't.
And I think, it was probably very purposeful because they didn't want to spoil what he looks like.
Right.
But yeah, this game looks awesome. I'm so excited for this. I don't know if I've ever played a Donkey Kong game. This might be my first Donkey Kong game.
I have played Country and Country 2 many, many moons ago, and that was it.
But yeah, a 3D platformer that's based around aggression and destroying stuff is dope. It looks so cool.
Really dope.
And my stupid comic book nerd brain couldn't help but imagine how incredible a Hulk game would be like this.
Ooh,
a game like this, literally you just take everything about this game and make Donkey Kong the Hulk, and it would be perfect. Because not every superhero game needs to be Spider-Man or Batman. It doesn't need to be these open world, big AAA experiences.
You don't have to tell a story.
It can... Well, I wanted to tell a story, but it can be like this, where it's like a platformer, action platformer, the Hulk. having to figure stuff out that way using her strength versus, not as much combat, though there is still combat in this game as they show. And I can imagine each one of those bosses being like famous Hulk, villains. Like, yeah, I could imagine this game, but with the Hulk. But this game looks awesome. I'm so excited. But that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah. Especially, one more thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah, so first of all, Nintendo's quiet flex with all the particles in the trailer. I know what y'all are.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the devs over there in Nintendo saw like what Astrobot was doing. It's like, we have to match that. We've got to top it. And they did.
Yeah, something else, a comparison to Astrobot that I saw kind of funny had was with the bosses. The bosses were giving Astrobot, but better. Because the bosses in Astrobot are fun to fight, but they lack character and personality in terms of their designs. And
that makes sense.
And in this trailer, all of those bosses look like brand new characters. And they all look interesting and cool because Nintendo's good at that. Whereas Astrobot is like, Astrobot looks cool. But the villains were like whatever in terms of design and personality. They were fun to fight, but other than that, not very much. And that's hopefully something that they learn for the sequel. But yeah, this game looks awesome. But you got anything else?
Fantastic. Nope, that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all we got. Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Very quick run through. 42 minutes. I don't know if that's quick or not, but we'll get into a lot more detail in 2 weeks when we get a lot more information. So, as usual, I'm Dijon. You can find my ads above me, Aiara's ad above them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more storytelling content, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. Peace.
See ya.